Okay, so I'm going to continue on this thought, and I can't leave it because I think there's so much unsaid, and I think a lot of people want it to be unsaid. And the more I think about how convoluted it is, the more I think about how Playboy just didn't allow people to really evolve this idea. In the same way, the more I think about it, I also think some of my right-wing blogging friends are also completely off. They're right, but they're also they're emotional and they're angry, so they're not being objective. And they have a right to be angry. They should be, but some of the anger isn't clearly thought out. Okay, now I know I have to be careful here because there's a limit to how far I can go with this subject. But hate, beep beep, is not forced, beep beep. Okay, that's a mistake the right-wing bloggers, the females, are making. It's not, and I'd like to explain that. When my son was born, my cousin Jenny gave me this doll for my son. You know, I always play with it on Seismic. And obviously I have a lot of frustration with this doll. That's why I'm always playing with it. You know, this is my Care Bear. Now, the reason I have frustration with it is because I really don't like it. I find it to be humiliating. The same way my girlfriend likes Hello Kitty, and so there's a certain frustration and also a certain complication that goes with it. Guys like girls that dress up like little girls. We don't like women. We like girls that dress up like little girls and suck on lollipops. It's demeaning, and it's also in the same way it's a form of hate. It's something that I think Playboy was attempting to deal with, was a certain libidinal nature that isn't involved in love. And I think that's really hard for women to understand, because I think a lot of women can only imagine wanting to be in love and committing an act of love because out of respect, and men don't always do that, in fact. And I think that's because there's a certain difference with men. Well, I think women say things that have a double meaning. When Reblog Girl said a few days ago that she was looking for a man to have a good time with, and she had all these needs, and at the same time she was she was asking for a man that she could just have fun with, but at the same time she really didn't want to ever think about how she was having fun. She said she didn't want a man with money. Well, obviously what she was really saying was that she wants the money, she just doesn't want to know it's there. She doesn't want power because she doesn't want to be aware of it. For a man to have power, he has to be aware of his power. He can't be oblivious of it or he loses power. But I think a woman requests power where she actually wants to be in a position where she is not aware that money is being spent around her. She just wants to be able to do it, which I suppose is a greater power. But it's, with men, there's a certain responsibility, and of course, so because we're dealing with a situation where we're constantly aware of the ramifications of what is going on, and of course our libidinal nature is tied to our ability to know, which is really a burden. You know, property, when you have property, when you establish ownership of something, you have to protect that. So it's a burden. So you have too much of a burden, obviously it's not power. So it's a balance with men. With women, she expressed it herself. She wants to be able to have fun, she says, but she doesn't want to be told how she's having fun or why she's having fun. She just wants to have fun. So, yeah, she's presenting a paradox, and that paradox can be really frustrating. In the same way they can, present Hello Kitty, and yeah, it's cute, but it's really frustrating to a male. And it's not completely sewn up into a matter of love. It's frustration, and it's also libidinal, because we're constantly dealing with a paradox that is provided by us, by women. And please, don't think I'm lecturing you. I'm talking about this because I'm trying to figure it out myself. Obviously, I'm sitting here on Seismic a lot because I'm having difficulties with my girlfriend and my son. And so I don't think I'm above anybody. No, she would like me to make money herself. But of course, when I was making money, she was ruining my life because then I couldn't, when I was busy working, I couldn't spend time with her. So now that I don't have a job, she doesn't want to spend time with me because I don't have money. Or I do have money, but it would be provided by my parents. So listen, I'm not above anyone. I'm not, when I was working, one of the reasons I lost my job, I sometimes talk about my job. I don't want anyone to think I'm perfect. I'm not. I made mistakes on the job. There was one time I spoke to an agent, and I was selling an alternative product. I think I brought it up. I was selling this thing. It's supposed to be like an edgy fashion magazine, and it's supposed to go to art directors, very cool. And it's supposed to be very alternative and hip and different, and the agent wanted to know, why our old product wasn't hip. I tried to explain it in terms of, well, the old product was Hillary Clinton, and you're used to marketing in a Hillary Clinton market, and this is going to be Jesse Ventura. Now, of course, I didn't realize how whacked out Jesse Ventura, so I myself was wrong, but there was a libidinal thing that I was trying to express, I was trying to analyze and describe an edge market that was masculine, that had a certain amount of angst and edge to it, a sort of rock and roll to it. It's definitely not, it's not Hello Kitty. It's the kind of art I would like. And it was very hard to describe to some of the women in the market that were used to cute things, that were used to, this sells. The music industry doesn't sell as well. That's the truth. So, I failed to really convince many people that were used to a less edgy thing to. Unfortunately, I was able to convince the artists, but not the agents, and that's why pretty much I lost my job. Gets to the point is that there's a certain frustration when a woman wears all pink. I don't think men actually enjoy the color pink on a girl. I don't think they enjoy the fact that some girl is walking around with a lollipop and a bow. I don't think we actually appreciate that as being pretty. There's a frustration. There's definitely some kind of hate, but it's a duality. And I think when you talk about somebody's opinion, when you're talking about a political opinion, and obviously women have a tendency to, pretty women, attractive women have a tendency to be conservative, and not in a Noah Simon kind of crazy way, but in a way where they're very, very afraid of deviance and sexual threats and stuff like that. And so they are, very law enforcement based, and so a lot of attractive women are like that. And I think that I really hope this doesn't get me thrown off season, because I'm really, I'm not trying to freak anyone out. I'm trying to figure this out myself so I can stay employed, because this kind of talk gets me in trouble in life. So, yeah, I think that these guys were trying to demean these women, and but I don't think they really were talking about forced acts. I think they were talking about a certain amount of frustration. A certain amount of frustration that I don't agree with. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be frustrated with somebody for supporting Iraq or, you know, believing in our borders or something like that. You know, I don't agree with PLayboy's point of view. I'm just trying to understand where they're coming from. So, anyway. Yesterday with Reblog Girl, obviously there was, or every time this girl shows up on Seismic, she gets a lot of, she herself gets a lot of interaction, a hell of a lot more interaction than I do, and she knows that she's arrogant about it. Is that what PLayboy was alluding to? I think so. I think everyone here acts very aggressive whenever she shows up. Not her fault, I think, but I think she plays with it, and I think she knows it. I know she knows it. I think it's okay. I think it's funny. I think we all kind of get the joke. You know, I was playing with that. I got very annoyed when somebody criticized her for being libidinal, because obviously we all like it, and obviously, I don't know. I don't like that guy anyway. He creeps me out. I think he has hate thoughts towards me, which I don't know, maybe that's just the way he looks in the camera. But I don't see that with other people. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I won't have another post here.